Hello, Flosstube. Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches here with my Flosstube update number 345. I can't speak today. Today is Saturday, August 3rd. And this is a channel about cross-stitch for any of you who might be new. And if you are new, welcome. And if you're a returning visitor, welcome back. And I want to start off, first of all, with a thank you to make sure I have her name right. Charlotte, yeah. Charlotte Jorgensen. She sent me a nice little note. I'm going to show you this because I kind of tore up the envelope. It was, she taped it shut for safety purposes, and I couldn't get it open, and it kind of tore. So, but it had this pretty little floral motif on the back, and it was just a little thank you note for a giveaway I did that she received a while back, and it was just a little thank you note. So thank you, Charlotte, for the little letter. Very nice, very kind of you. Anyway, so I've got a little bit of stuff to talk about. Suddenly a little bit of fall. If I look a little frazzled, it's because my sister and I just got in from the sweltering heat here in Arizona. It's August, and last month was very hot. This month it's, still very hot. I didn't even know what the temperature is, 100 and something. 109 according to my phone. But we were just out in it, and we went to Joanne's. Eve needed a couple things for an upcoming art class she's going to be teaching through the school system. And so we were looking for a couple things. So we went to Joanne's because they had she wanted to get a tote bag of a certain size, and they had one there. So we went there, and we were looking for some other things that she needed. And it was so hot in that store. By the time, we walked around, and we were walking slowly. We weren't like hustling through there, working up a sweat or anything. But we were looking at some things, and and didn't find other stuff that we needed. But I found a couple things, and by the time I got up to the registers to check out, I literally had sweat rolling down the sides of my head. It was just really hot in there. Anyway, so it was uncomfortable outside and inside and everything else. So anyway, but we this past week we had our air conditioning at home go out, but it's fixed now. So anyway, yeah. So I know it's hot everywhere, but somebody had posted something about how, there was rain in their neighborhood, and I think it was my friend Sharon, that it was raining. I was like, it's not raining here. I would give anything. I wouldn't even care if, it poured until the power went out or something, as long as it was, raining. But it's, it's not. So that's, life in the desert. Anyway, so it's now the beginning of August, and so I have my August cross-stitch camp piece, and the August numbers for WIPGO I talked about last week, the projects that I am going to be doing. So let me wrap up a little bit of July. I had been working on, this was one of my WIPGO calls, the Little Brown Bat, which is part of the, sorry, I was thinking or something, A Year in the Woods by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is their number 10, the Little Brown Bat I talked about last week. And I did just a little bit more on Saturday, because I had talked about how I had to frog out all the stuff that I had worked on. So this is just that little gray cheek, you know, part of his face. So this is the yellow that I did before, and this is the gray that I had to frog out. And so I just worked on it until I finished that gray part. So now it's right. Yeah, so that's just the tail end of that number 10 to finish it, because I didn't want to leave it half done. And then the other thing was the secondary chart from July for that number, whatever that number was, number 23. So the secondary chart was this Little House Needleworks little freebie called 7 Pines. And I had decided to do it on a very small count, 46 count oat Bristol, using 1 thread over 2. So this is how tiny it was. And if you look right there, those 2 trees should not be touching. There should be a space there. But I went like over 1, and I didn't discover it till I got down here on the 3rd tree. And so I'm just probably gonna put a stitch of another color in there of white, or if I could maybe find something this color, I don't know, but just to stitch over that 1 stitch to disconnect the 2 trees. But so I didn't quite finish it, but I was hoping I would maybe have time to finish it, but with other stuff that I'm working on for the house and and everything, and I didn't want to finish the little border around here because it's so tiny, and I counted and recounted and counted again, and so I want to make sure this is correct before I finish it. And it looks like it's gonna be right, with the spacing between this and the end of the tree and all that, because you can see it over here, it's correct. And so what's left is the tree trunks and some white across here, and then of course the snowman that goes here. But I wanted to at least do the 7 pines. So the pines are done, except for their trunks on here. They're obviously, they have little trunks, and so yeah. So there's a little more to go, but I had no specific goal for this. So anyway, so that's done. And if I have time, later I'll do it, but just depends. So then August came along, and this is not on my WIPGO chart, at least not here. It was on earlier on my WIPGO chart, but I just wanted to do a little bit more on it, just on the first. This is Rabbit. So of course, the tradition is to say Rabbit on the first of the month, or whatever. And so I just pulled this out and worked on it briefly, because on the first, I was working on my room and stuff like that, and doing just to prepare for the move, of course. And so physically, I was just kind of exhausted, but I wanted to put a little bit of stitching in on something. So I pulled out this rabbit, and it's a little hard to see. It's, if I can get it closer. So all the little bunnies are white in this particular chart. And I had worked on it before and realized I had a mistake with the rabbit, and I pulled it all out, and so I didn't make as much progress whenever I worked on it in the spring sometime. When did I have it? When did I have worked on it? I don't know. Oh, I think I worked on it. I don't know when I worked on it. Oh, in March. so in March I had worked on it, but I had like I said, I had gotten to a certain point with the rabbits, and then I realized there was a mistake, and so I had attempted to correct it, and I think I had gotten down here. This is where I found the mistake. So I took it out and corrected it, but I only went to about, I just did the ears and this one little stitch here, and so I had stopped there. So I just happened to have a piece of thread. It wasn't a full length of thread, but so I just stitched that one length, and I kept falling asleep. So I was like, I'd stitch, and then I'd fall asleep, and I'd wake up and go to the bathroom, and I was wide awake, so I would stitch, and then I would fall asleep. So anyway, I just did the one length of thread that I had, and just got this far. I didn't do the rest. His legs go up here. I didn't do it the rest of that. I just, But I stitched on the first on my Rabbit August. So there it is. And that was by Tracy Horner of Ink Circles that did that series. There's one for every month, and it's charted in Gloriana silks. This is 32 count Murano Carré in color spa, and it's with the call for Gloriana silks on that. So I've completed the January, February, March, and I want to say May. And I might have finished April, I'm not sure. I know I worked on April. I don't know, maybe I didn't. Yes, I did. Yeah, I finished it, yeah. So January, February, March, April, May are all finished. But after that, they're not. So I'm hoping that maybe, over the course of this year, that maybe I'll finish the rest of them. The first 3 are fully finished, but nothing else is. And I have to remember all I did to fully finish them, because I have all the stuff to finish them all the same way. But of course now everything is put away, so it's going to be in limbo for a while. And they'll give me time to think about and remember exactly how I finished it. I know I made cording. I used the sort of matching DMC colors, and I just picked a color from the pattern and made cording, and and all the rest of it. So I think I mounted it, the finished thing on a piece of what do you call it, mat board, and then I have some black circle things that anyway. So I think I have all that. It's just a matter of like making cording and all that for the finished things, and I'm not going to be FFOing anything for a while till all this limbo is done. Sorry, my phone is. I don't have my phone on silent. It's a long time. It's a long story, but anyway, I don't. Anyway, so that's all my previous work, and so for the month of August, for cross stitch camp, is the only thing I've started. I haven't just started my WIPGO stuff for August yet, which will be, as I said before, if I can put my eyes on it, the Starry Night charts, Prairie Schooler Starry Night, and Sheepish Manor. So I haven't started any of those yet because it's just the beginning of August. And so yesterday I started my cross stitch camp piece for August, Calling of the Sea chart by Stacy Nash, and I'm doing the ship here. And so I did borrow the 2 colors I was missing, Flatfish flatfish and dolphin I borrowed from my sister Eve. So I should be able to finish it. And I got just a little bit of a start, just the border. And this is also Murano Carre Spa. So I did this all the way across. You can't quite tell because it's, you know, under here. But I did across the top of the border. And so now I'm working my way down. And before I put in, like, there's a little circle, here it is, with a little dog in the middle. So this is what I think I want to do next, but I wanted to do the border, you know, so I could, you know, find where I'm going to be. And then hopefully I can, you know, work my way around. So, but in the meantime, you know, like I said, I'm working on the border here. It's just a little thing. Did I make a mistake here? I hope not. Anyway, so that's the progress that I made. And this is 2 over 2 on 32 count Murano Carre. And so, hopefully I'll get some progress on that. And then just real quick, a little, since we were at Joann's, I just like randomly bought, they had these little bamboo dowels. And I don't know why I bought them. Like I said before, that would be good for finishing something. I don't know. Could be. I use them somewhere. And then the other thing I bought was they had a bunch of, you know, all Halloween decor out, and I bought this little. It's just a little vinyl zipper pouch thing, but it looks like a kitty. They had like some, I guess, you know, like with a keychain on them, little miniature backpacks, you know, with a keychain thing. But I thought this would make a nice little notions pouch. A little vinyl bag with cat ears. So yeah, I bought this. Didn't have to, but you know, it appealed to me. Yeah. So it's vinyl or like kind of nylon on the inside, and like a faux leather on the outside. But yeah. So anyway, that is about all I have. Like I said, I want to work on the Prairie Schooler Starry Night stuff and the Sheepish Manor coming up. So this is a real short update, but I don't really have anything else, you know, because I haven't had a whole lot of stitching time and I haven't done a lot of things yet. So yeah. We had several things that we were dealing with this week. We had an air conditioning issue, and I think we had the disposal issue before. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but you know, of course, we're in the process of trying to sell this house, and so as we're, you know, packing things up and cleaning things out, and there's like all kinds of little things, and then the garbage disposal went out. And so we had to buy a new disposal. And then the air conditioning went out. And so we had to get that fixed. And yeah, I mean, because last Sunday it was like 80 something, 85 or something in the house, you know. And then it got even hotter before we had it fixed. And now it's back to normal. But it was, you know, just incredibly uncomfortable. Oh, and then yesterday I realized that my cats have a little cat fountain thing, and when I was working on my room, you know, and cleaning the floor and doing things like that, and packing, you know, just packing up some leftover stuff, and because we're gonna like rearrange my room a little bit just for, you know, for showing or whatever. And so, so I was working on there, and I moved the little cat fountain. And I thought, it seems to me like I have a little tray thing, a little square tray with a kind of lip that I have the cat fountain sitting in, because one of my cats insists on touching the water with his paw, because cats can't see close up. They can see from a distance. They can see movement and things like that. But if something's right in front of their face, they can't focus very clearly. And so a lot of cats will put their paw in the water so they can see it, rippling on the surface, so they can tell how far the water is or whatever. So Puck has a habit of doing that, and the fountain is a little easier for him to sort of see, I guess. Anyway, and he has always liked water from the faucet, and so the fountain, he likes that better than just water in a bowl. But anyway, so I had seen that the little tray, the area was wet, and I thought, and I thought that it was, because of Puck's water habit. And then when I moved the fountain, I thought, there's a little drip underneath it, and I thought, well, did I just accidentally splash water or what, and so I moved it, and I have like one of those, some of those absorbent little pee pad things. I had put one underneath there just to sort of help absorb, the wetness from Puck and his paw. And after I moved it, I thought, yep, that looks a little more wet than normal. And I had noticed in the last couple of days that it seemed like I was having to refill that water fountain, more often. And I went to look at it, and it was definitely leaking. So for now, the cats are drinking out of a regular water bowl and not out of the fountain. And yeah, so it's just, another thing that went wrong this week. But anyway, so hopefully things will get better. And so it is what it is, as they say. Anyway, so I hope you all are having a good summer. Those of you who may be watching the Olympics, I'm kind of not watching it so much now. I just watching everything else, but I guess. Hope you're having a good time. I know several people are stitching the Olympics, as they say, because they're stitching, some prompts that go with the Olympic events, and every day of the Olympics there's like a different prompt, and so some people are doing that. I'm not. I have to say, I've got enough going on with cross stitch camp and WIPGO, and so anyway, that's all I have for now, and hopefully, like I said, everybody's having a good summer so far. And here we are into August. And I will, sorry, my hand over there. I will see you all next week. All right. Thanks again, Charlotte. And, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.